So let's talk about what we mean by radiant energy and the associated idea of a black body. Radiant energy is just how much energy is radiating off of some surface, like the surface of the sun. So we're talking about all the energy that's released by the sun, and of course this travels through space, and a lot of it does get to the surface of Earth. Much more of it gets to the top of the atmosphere, but as we'll talk about soon, some of that's absorbed or reflected away by the atmosphere. But we can also think of the Earth as radiant. It's absorbing energy from the sun, and then it's re-radiating that out into space. But the primary radiant energy source that we use for remote sensing is the sun itself. So one way to think about the sun is this idea of a black body surface. So if we just took an object, let's say like a black piece of material, and we started heating it up, it would radiate out various sorts of spectrums of energy from the electromagnetic spectrum. And depending on how hot that surface got, it would somewhat represent one of these curves here. Like this would be if we heated it to 3,000 degrees Celsius. This one would be if we heated it to 6,000 degrees Celsius. And this one would be if we heated it to 12,000 degrees Celsius, with this showing the intensity and this showing the various wavelengths that would be radiating off of that black body surface. As we can see, we could approximate our sun by this one here, this one that's 6,000 degrees Celsius. And what we see is that the sun is basically giving off a high of intensity of energy right in the visible portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. So most of the energy that's being released from the sun, that's radiating away from the sun, is right in that sweet spot where we see visible light, which may not be a coincidence. That might be why we over time have evolved our eyes so that we can see in the visible portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. But this is showing all of the electromagnetic radiation that would be coming off the sun, and you can see this everything under this curve here would be what's leaving the sun and heading towards Earth.